Good evening. Tonight, we gather to discuss the most celebrated, the most powerful, and yet the most misunderstood of all my methods, the art of entering the state akin to sleep. What is this state? It is that drowsy, delicate threshold between waking and sleep, when the body lies still and the mind begins to drift, yet you remain aware. It is the doorway to your subconscious, the place where imaginal acts take root and shape the world of form. I have received countless letters, and after my lectures, men and women come to me with the same troubled look in their eyes. They say, "Neville, I have tried. I lie down every night, I still my body, I close my eyes, and I see nothing. My mind is a blank canvas. Am I lacking the power? Am I one of those for whom this law will not work?" They speak of the struggle to conjure a clear picture, to hold a steady scene. They speak of the frustration of the mind that wanders, or the great disappointment of falling asleep before the work is done. They have come to believe that this art of imagining is a special talent, a gift given only to the few. Tonight, I am here to tell you that this belief is a profound misunderstanding. If you have ever struggled to visualize, if you have ever felt that your mind was an empty theater, then this lesson is for you. For you have been focusing on the wrong thing entirely. You have been trying with great effort to become a master painter, when your true power lies in being a master feeler. The purpose of the state akin to sleep is not to create a perfect mental movie. It is to generate the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The visual scene is merely one of many tools to achieve that end, and for many, it is not even the most effective tool. So tonight, we will put away the struggle of visualization. We will explore the other, more potent gateways to the subconscious mind. You will learn that your sense of touch, of hearing, of smell and imagination can be far more powerful than your inner sight. This is not a lesson for the visualizers. This is a revelation for everyone else. For those who believe they cannot, I will show you that you have been doing it perfectly your entire life. Now that we have laid aside the belief that visualization is the only doorway, let us examine what truly moves the subconscious mind. Let us now enter the deeper principle behind the practice. You have been led to believe that the purpose of the state akin to sleep is to become a master painter in your mind's eye. You struggle to create a perfect, vivid motion picture, and when you fail, you believe you have failed the law itself. But I am here to tell you that is not the case. The aim is not merely to see a scene. It is to inhabit it with all the sensory vividness of reality. Your imagination is not a single eye. It is a complete spiritual body, equipped with inner senses just as rich and alive as your physical ones. You can hear, touch, smell, taste, and yes, see, all within the imaginal realm. And the subconscious is not persuaded by a picture alone. It responds to reality, and to it, a fully felt inner experience is as real, if not more real, than anything this outer world can offer. A single imagined whisper, clearly heard in your mind's ear, can awaken the law more fully than a silent picture watched without feeling. The imagined sensation of a ring upon your finger, the faint warmth of a familiar embrace, the smell of a flower from your childhood garden, these are more potent than the finest cinematography of the mind. The scriptures contain a profound parable of this truth. In the story of Isaac and his blessing, Isaac, grown old and blind, could no longer trust the sight of his outer eyes, but the blessing still had to be given. So how did he discern the reality before him? He relied on his other senses. He touched the arms of his son, clothed in goatskin, and said, "The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau." He then smelled the garments and was convinced. And once the blessing was spoken, It could not be undone. Now, this tale, though ancient, is as modern as your next breath. It is the perfect image of your creative power. When the outer world is blind to your desire, when reason cannot see how it will come to pass, you close your eyes and turn inward as Isaac did. And there you let your inner senses speak the truth of what shall be. You may not see the money, but can you not feel its weight, its texture, its crispness? You may not see the car, but can you not smell the leather or hear the satisfying thud of its closing door? You may not see your lover's face, but can you not hear their laughter or feel the warmth of their hand in yours? This is the real art, not the art of constructing a grand illusion, but of entering a simple felt reality that impresses the subconscious deeply and naturally. Your task is not to force an image. Your task is to discover which sensory door opens most easily for you and to walk through it into the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It is that inner conviction, born not of sight but of experience, that turns imagination into incarnation. Now that the principle has been made plain, that feeling is the key and not the perfection of sight, let us enter the clinic of the imagination. Let us tend gently to the trouble so often confided to me after lectures, quietly spoken or written in earnest letters. Though the law is simple, many who try to live by it suffer, not from lack of power, but from misunderstanding its tools. One common concern I've often heard begins with a quiet confession. Neville, I cannot visualize. My mind is a blank, an empty space. To this I say, you are not failing. You are simply reaching for the wrong instrument. You've been trying to open a door with a key that does not fit your hand, while 5 others hang ready at your side. If your inner sight is dim, do not strain to sharpen it. Instead, use the sense that is already vivid. Close your eyes, not to see, but to feel. Can you not sense the crisp edge of a banknote between your fingers? The texture of paper? The weight of a doorknob turning beneath your hand? One single sensation, fully accepted, carries within it the entire implication of the state fulfilled. I call this a point of union, a simple felt impression that contains the whole. You do not need to see the house if you can feel the key in your pocket. And for others, it is not touch, but sound that opens the inner world. I recall a young singer who once came to me in despair. She could not see herself on the stage, no matter how she tried. So I said, do not try to see. Tonight you will listen. Each evening, as she sank into that gentle drowsiness, she imagined a dear friend whispering, oh, it was a wonderful performance. That single phrase, repeated softly, became more real than her fear. And soon the world confirmed what her imagination had declared. Not every door is opened by the same key. What matters is not the sense you use, but the reality it creates within you. Another difficulty arises from those who find their minds drifting, unable to hold a scene. To them I offer this. Do not struggle. The mind, like a child, rebels against complexity. If the scene is too long, too crowded, it will slip away like mist. Instead, simplify. Let your imaginal act be no longer than 3 or 5 seconds. The clasp of a hand, the turning of a key, the folding of a letter. I remember a baker, a hard-working man whose shop was faltering. He told me he couldn't picture success. So I invited him to imagine one thing, the feeling of his pocket, heavy with coins, as he locked the shop door at night. That one sensation, repeated gently, carried him into the feeling of success. Soon the line for his bread spilled onto the street each morning. A short scene is not a compromise. It is a strength. Let your imaginal act be a lullaby, not a symphony, something you can return to again and again with ease and affection. Still others have told me, Neville, I can see the scene clearly, but I feel nothing. It is hollow like a daydream. That too comes from misunderstanding. You expect a surge of joy, a trembling thrill, but the feeling that creates is often quieter than that. It is the soft relief of a burden lifted. It is the ease that comes when the question has been answered, the longing fulfilled. If you are in debt, then wealth will feel not like fireworks, but like freedom. If you are lonely, then love will feel like peace. Do not chase emotion. Ask instead, if this were true now, how would I feel? Then allow that gentle knowing to settle into you, that subtle shift from wanting to being. And yes, there are those who fall asleep too quickly before the act can be completed. If this is your struggle, the remedy is simple. Do not perform the act lying in bed. Sit in a chair. Recline slightly if you must, but remain present in body while the mind softens. The state akin to sleep is not sleep itself. It is the golden twilight, that moment when the outer senses fade and the inner world grows luminous. That is the garden in which all creation is planted. A physician once told me that his exhaustion at night made it impossible to practice state akin to sleep. So he changed his hour. Each day upon returning home, he sat quietly in his chair for just a few minutes, and in that brief stillness, he remade his life. These are the adjustments. Do not war against your nature. Instead, become intimate with it. Learn which of your inner senses is most alive. Choose a posture that welcomes awareness without drowsiness. Select a scene so brief, so tender, and so true in feeling that it becomes a resting place for the mind. And then return to it again and again until what once felt like imagination begins to feel like memory. Do this, and the gate of the subconscious, once silent and closed, shall swing open with grace. And so we come to the end, not of a theory, but of a burden. You have been shown that the door to the subconscious is not opened by force, nor by some rare gift of inner sight. It yields gently to the one who understands feeling. You now hold the keys. If one key does not fit, another will. If sight does not awaken the state, then let touch or sound or scent guide you inward. There is no longer any excuse for failure, not because you must succeed, but because you already possess everything required. The power was never absent. You were simply turning the wrong handle and calling the door locked. But understanding alone is not enough. An idea not applied is like a treasure buried in the earth, untouched, unproven, unused. I did not come tonight to offer inspiration. I came to place a tool in your hand. And so I ask you now to conduct a small personal experiment, not tomorrow, but tonight. For the next 7 nights, set aside your grand desires. Let the mighty dreams rest for a moment. Choose instead one simple, tangible impression, something so ordinary that reason will not resist it. Perhaps it is the feeling of a single coin in your palm, the scent of a particular flower, the weight of a letter in your hand. Enter the drowsy state, just as we have discussed. But do not attempt a full scene. Do not labor to see. Choose one sense and let it lead. If touch is your clearest doorway, then feel. Reach out with your inner hand and sense the texture of the object, its weight, its temperature. Hold it until it feels real, until you know that you possess it. If sound is more natural to you, then listen. Do not attempt to see. Instead, allow a single phrase to rise and repeat. Congratulations, you did it. Or perhaps the sound of a latch turning or a door closing softly behind you. And if your gateway is sent, then bring it near. Do not imagine the object, only its aroma. Let it fill your awareness until the outer world dissolves. Whatever you choose, let it be one thing, simple, familiar, real. Remain with it, gently. Do not strain. Loop it softly until it becomes the last impression before sleep, and then release it. You have done the work. There is nothing else to push, to plead, or to pursue. You fall asleep not in effort, but in confidence, knowing that what has been felt within must soon take form without. Let this be your proof, not to convince others, but to convince yourself. And once that inner certainty is won, then go on. Return to your greatest desires, now armed with the quiet power of one who has seen for himself. You will no longer hope, you will know. For the secret has been revealed. You are not the servant of your senses. You are their master. The work is done. Now, let us go into the silence.